You're ready to go, Hari.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good morning to some of you, different parts of the world who joined this special event. So we are here to have a very good, very good topic here to know about the construction professional certification from PMI. So I will go through the few of the slides, then I will introduce the speakers here, and we will move on. Yeah. So I'm Harihara, the president of PMI Singapore chapter, as well as the co-founder of major infrastructure and industrial project special interest group. And for last 24 years, I was doing industrial project management, and mostly in Singapore and some parts of France and India regions. I work for a company called Worley. That's my day job, and PMI is always, I was volunteering for last 10 years. Very passionate and to talk to people like professional like you all, and basically a knowledge transfer and to learn from each other. Yeah. So let me give a quick overview of what is MIIP again, because every time we speak about MIIP, not many people are knowing about what we do, how we do programs of this MIIP vision and mission. So basically, MIIP is, we started this in 2020 with a main interest to see how we can promote collaborative learning, grouping some practitioners to come along and talk about theme-based topics and what we can learn collaboratively. And we know the complexities of major projects is very, very unique, and a lot of learnings are there, and each and every individual has got their visibility on major projects may not be equal. At the same time, the opportunity of working on major projects is not possible for many of you, right? So we thought this special interest group will help us to learn collaboratively. So that's the backbone of starting this mission. We have a website, dedicated website for it, and feel free to look into it. And we have a LinkedIn group. About 750 plus group members have joined, and I believe, and also you can also visit our website later. And you have a knowledge center. So whatever we learn from today or our MIIP series will be posted on this website for you to learn. After this event is over, and you can share it with your team, and it's publicly available to everyone, both members and non-members. So that is something special on this. So whatever we learned, we are giving back to the community. Yeah. So just to give a heads up on what are the MIIP events we have covered so far, you can see here we talked about digitalization, how it impacts major projects, brownfield projects, and also sustainability topics, and the climate change impact on major projects. And series 4, we talked about risk management and the advanced technology trends, impacting major projects with some case studies. That's the focus. We normally do MIIP series. And series 5, we talked about circular economy, and a few others topics. And series 6 and 7, we talked about 6. Basically, we talked about sustainable practices, and 7 and 8, we talked about how AI is impacting.
Anh kẹt luôn, không nhúc nhích gì được hết.
Sorry, but yeah. So basically, yeah, we covered about 8 topics now, and this special event, what we are doing here is to learn about construction professional NU certification program, which is not common in the construction environment. So this is something special. PMI has created this credential to get construction folks to get more knowledge, and also to be competent in the construction world. So we'll hear more from our speakers next. And we'll have upcoming series number 10, which is going to be a project control based theme. So which we are working on. We will announce later. Probably in September, we'll have another next series. Yeah. So with that note, let me introduce our first speaker, or 2 speakers we have. We have Tony. Tony is experienced, the construction industry. I think he was with 22 years of experience. And he holds a lot of certifications here, as you can see. PMP, PBA, CP, Construction Professional. He has got that certification. And he works in Qatar at the same time, he do travel across different parts of the world, and he do consultancy business. And that's a brief introduction of Tony. And we have another gentleman here, Ricardo. He works for PMI, and to facilitate PMI-CP certification globally. He's working closely with a core team of, the certification team of construction wing. And also, he has got about 20 years experience, and and we will see Ricardo in shortly. Is Ricardo, are you available now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great, on time. So over to you, Ricardo.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Hopefully we have some fantastic questions that you will line up for us so we can keep this very engaging. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So why construction? Why construction certification? Construction represents, I believe, one of the biggest industries in the world, accounting for about 13% of global GDP. And PMI has been hearing from our members feedback that we need to do something specifically for the construction field. So hence we started to look at this. But going back to the rationale, both at the moment, construction represents the biggest industry, but also looking into the future, we have about $70 trillion that's planned in global infrastructure investment that's needed between now and 2035. This is coupled with a skilled labor shortage in the field, as well as there's a major retirement wave that will be coming, because a lot of the professionals within the field at the moment are on the higher spectrum of that age continuum. So it's important for us to get the next generation of professionals trained and ready to be able to meet the needs of the future. Next slide. So back one. So PMI teamed up with the next slide.
Is this Ricardo?
No, there's one before. You're missing one. Okay, let's continue. Next. Yeah. So the transformation of the construction industry involves three dimensions, right? You have the process, you have the technology, and you have the people. What we're focused on now with this certification is really getting the people up to speed with improvements in technology and process that has taken place in the last while. I believe the people element of this puzzle has been absent for a while, or not absent, but it needed some reinvigoration of talent, improvement of skills, upskilling within the industry. Next slide. So PMI teamed up with some of the biggest names in the industry. Some of them you'll recognize here. And really, it was a true development from the industry. It's by the industry for the industry, right? So we heard from many of these, what are the pain points that they're experiencing within their construction industry. And the certification that we've developed is responding to many of these pain points that were identified within these particular partners that we collaborated with. Some of them, like the Construction Industry Institute and the Lean Construction Industry Institute, we teamed up to have some of their content embedded into the certification program. So in total, we have 7 courses and 1 certification. So it's divided in 2. So you have the PMI-CP and the PMI-SCP. The next slide. Embedded in the PMI-CP are three core elements. One is the ways of working, or lean ways of working, really embedding some of the key elements of the lean construction industry, the principles where it's focused on reliability and work, particularly for the construction processes, data-driven approach, and other agile methodology, and the use of technology to really improve processes within the construction industry. The next slide. So the course itself is divided into two formats. You have the 4 core modules for the PMI-CP, and you have 3 advanced courses for the PMI-SCP, which is a senior construction professional. I'll hand it over to Tony, and he will go through some of the details from here, and then I'll come back towards the end for questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Ricardo, and thank you, Harihara, and thank you, PMI Singapore chapter, and all the participants for this wonderful opportunity. So it's a great opportunity for us to showcase the PMI-CP certification and the PMI Construction Professional courses what we are offering now. So I became a member of PMI since 2005 and became a PMP since 2007. So one of the major requirement as a professional working in a construction industry from my side to the PMI was to introduce a course and then certification for a construction industry. So like, this is a long-standing demand for many professionals working in the industry, even though we know that the project management professional is exactly covering the project management and the program management aspect of a project. But as a construction, we know we all have a lot of challenges to manage it in the project ground level. So like Ricardo mentioned, when PMI understood the situation and they have analyzed the industry and they have taken a decision to engage the various other industries, institutes which are working in the industry. And the beauty of a PMI construction professional certification is, like Ricardo mentioned, there are 2 other major institutes working on the construction industry, like a Lean Construction Institute and the Construction Industry Institute in US, were partnered. And all their very positive, vibrant best practices are taken along with the project management body of knowledge, what we are practicing for years together. And we had we are having a very wonderful course in front of us now. So I got the opportunity to take this PMI-CP course from the very beginning or the very starting of or officially announcing this course. And when I go through each module and each content, I could easily start relating to the construction industry, and I could easily start connecting to the pain points what we are having, and how does the industry is resolving, and or as a management consultant, we are advising our clients and the different organizations in a construction project. So it has all been now converted into a course and converted into a structured way of putting across to the public. And now when each and every construction professional, they are also undergoing these courses and understanding the content, that is when we will start seeing that the entire industry is having a common understanding, and we all are working towards the development of our construction industry and then moving forward. Now, you know that today the construction industry is one of the lowest productive, and we have a lot of uncertainty. The predictability is very low in our commitment, and we have our own problems which we are handling today. Now, coming to the certification, like Ricardo mentioned again, we got a 2 certification. We can say that one is a PMI-CP, which is the main or the core certificate which we are saying. So if you want to gain the PMI-CP certification, you need to undergo 4 courses, and you need to appear for the exam. Now, these 4 courses are construction project communication, interface management, the construction scope and change management, and the construction contract and the risk management. Now, there are 2 ways you can go for this particular course completion. The first and most is definitely the online, which the PMI is recently done. One of the beauty thing is, if someone want to do it self, and they are dedicated to spend time on the courses, and they don't need anyone else to support it or instruct it, they can do it at their convenience. So the online modules or the courses are available, and you need to spend around 4 to 6 hours in each module. And you can complete the entire 4 courses, and then once you complete it, you can go for the exams, and that is when you will get the PMI-CP certification. So the exams and the details, the previous slides we have discussed, and we will discuss more about it as we go. And those who are a PMP credential holder or any other PMI credential holder, while you're completing this course, you will be getting the PDU as well. So total, maybe you invest a 24 hours spread over a period of whatever the convenience for you, and then you can complete the course, and maybe you can study one more time, and you can write the exam and then move forward. So coming to the another mode of doing. So when we release the online training program initially, we get a lot of suggestions from the participants and the people, those who attended, saying that, hey, there are certain concepts which, very difficult for me to understand. Can I get some case study? Can I get some hands-on support? Can I get someone to guide me to get it done? So what PMI has done is they started make it a little more elaborative, and including the case studies, and make it a very detailed ones. Now you can see that something which you can do it as a 4 to 6 hours in the online. When PMI made it as an instructor-led program, they designed in such a way that it is detailed, and you can spend 2 days to complete one particular course. That means not just the theory, the participants can really work on the examples, and either it can be the case which is the PMI is provided, or we can create our own case. Like, for example, in one client or one contractor organization want to train the entire people in a project or in their organization on this particular course, then they can create their own case studies and their own success stories or failures, and then see that how does this can be applied and it can be improved. So PMI is giving a lot of opportunity for us to do that. So typically, if each course individually you are doing it, probably 2 days are required, or maybe you can do it in a 5 days. So it's all based on the ATPs and the ILTs, whoever is offering that particular area. So there are various PMI authorized training providers are there across globe, and you can easily find out the details from the PMI website, and you can approach to one of them, or they will announce in LinkedIn. So we will share our LinkedIn group as well in the towards the end of the webinar, and you can be part of the LinkedIn group, and you can find all the latest information about any webinars or any ILT programs or any other things are going to happen through this kind of communication. So once you have done this 4 course, and then you gain that PMI CP certification, and that is when you will be able to see that the next level of study. So these are some contents. I will come to that content at a later. There is some more detailed discussion. We can do it. So once you completed the PMI-CP certification, that is when we can. Oh, 1 second. Yeah. So once you completed the courses, you can apply for the PMI-CP exam. Now the eligibility for the PMI-CP exam is you need to have a minimum 3 years of experience on the job in the last 10 years. And while taking the 4 courses, what we mentioned, you can take that courses in any order. Like, if it is an online, then your choice, or if you are approaching an ATP, then based on their choice. And this is all designed to do in a self-paced if you want to do it. This is what exactly we mentioned, the PDUs and the other areas, what we have mentioned earlier. Now I can see someone is raising the hand, but we will take all the question and answers towards the end of it, just to ensuring that, you will have all the information available, and then still you have any questions, we will address your questions towards end of the webinar. Now, coming to the PMI-CP exam, how much time and how many questions? I think it's been answered straightforward. There are 120 questions are there, a total duration of 230 minutes. And primarily, the questions are falling into the various categories like a contract management, the stakeholder engagement, the strategy and the scope, and the project governance. So these are the 4 primary domains where the the exams will be focused based on the 4 courses which I've mentioned earlier. Now, there are, if you could see that those who are completed this exam, those who completed this course, they really see the potential of the courses and seeing that the entire industry is going to go for it. And I'll tell my personal experience than one it is showing in the screen as well. When I completed this particular course, the immediate or the first thing what I've done is I reach out to my people, those are friends and the colleagues, and I started recommending the people because I have seen the potential. When I had done the PMP in 2007 and then how it has helped me to grow in my career. Now I feel like the PMI-CP is maybe 2 times or 3 times it is going to help the industry because it is directly connected to what we are doing and what are the problems we are facing in the construction project side. What are the communication challenges we are facing is, what are the risks we are going to face it, what are the interface challenges we are going to face it. So all this conceptual and theoretical and the structured way of addressing these problems are well explained in the course. So I was literally feeling like, yeah, this is the solution, what we can easily do it rather than individually someone is creating some training programs and then trying to develop the construction-oriented project management knowledge in our industry and in the organization. So this is ultimately going to help us to ensuring that we are going to have a large level of construction professionals are going to get generated over a period of time. And that's when we can see that a lot of tractions and a lot of interest will be there in the industry. Now, we will have a quick discussion like Hari and Ricardo, if you can also come online, from our experience and what all we have seen across the globe. How does this is really helping? So instead of I'll cover the detail of the content in after some discussion, but since we have to allow Ricardo to go a bit early, so we thought of having some conversations in between, and then we will get into the details of each module or each courses, how it is being done. So coming back, Ricardo, like how do you find this PMI-CP and the information which are being spread through these courses? How do you find the people accepting, and what is your response?
We've had some tremendously positive feedback from the field. Lots of times the big question is, how does this compare with the PMP? And I think I'll address that before we move on. So the PMP, I think, is sector agnostic. So it is a general project management certification that could be applied to any industry. It provides a great foundation by which you can do the PMI-CP, but it's not a prerequisite. The PMI-CP, if you compare it with medical terms, the PMP is like the GP, right? And the PMI-CP is like the surgeon. It is very, very, very specific to the construction industry. It's a truly upskilling modules that really address issues and problems within the industry and create solutions specific to the construction industry. Can be applied to, well, it can be, but it's mainly suited for the construction industry. So far, we've launched the PMI-CP now in the marketplace for about 2 years. We have about 15,000 individual courses that's been consumed. So those people are throughout the spectrum, from starting one course to people who have completed the certification. And we've had tremendous success. Like I said, a lot of the feedback comes from people who have had the PMP, who've done other certifications and really, really appreciate the content that's here. It's been a while, because a lot of our construction colleagues will tell you that it's been a while since they've really been engaged in this particular field from PMI. So we're looking for programming now throughout the industry, not only on the PMI-CP, but construction content in general. One of the early wins for us is the South Africa Construction Industry Institute, or sorry, the South Africa Construction Industry Regulatory Authority, SACP-CMP. They have done analysis of all of the competitor certifications in the marketplace, and they have decided on the PMI-CP as the standard for the construction industry in South Africa. And they're moving to Parliament to make it a requirement that any project manager working in the construction industry must have the PMI-CP, which is a fantastic feat in itself. Quite recently, Saudi Arabia, the Human Resource Development Fund, has recognized the PMI-CP as one of the preferred credentials that the kingdom will refund any citizen that takes the PMI-CP. It's part of the Vision 2030 initiative of the kingdom, and we really, really are excited about that. So all in all, I think we've seen tremendous uptake of the PMI-CP, tremendous feedback, really great feedback on the quality of the content as well, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, just to add on, Ricardo, like recently I was talking to one of the person who completed the PMP. You already have a PMP, and he recently completed the PMI-CP. And the response, like, you know, you're referring to the GP and the surgeon and everything. Like the one what he was suggesting or mentioning is the PMP is good for the little higher level project management, like those who are in a positions like maybe in a client or maybe in a consulting, but you know, little higher level of a larger picture of the construction project as any project which need to be handled, the scope and the risk and everything. But whereas the PMI-CP is literally, it is from the project manager till those who are handling the construction, especially the subcontractor, the contractor, and the people, those who are really working on a construction project, they will be developing a lot of project management expertise by going through the PMI-CP, and it's like an accelerated learning for the people, those who are budding or, you know, those who are growing into the construction. You know that in construction, there's a lot of you know, time required for you to grow and become a real project manager. Like you will not get to 2 to 3 years, you will not get exposure to all the areas of a project management. But whereas this course gives a more jump start for the people to get into that area. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, you know, I go through the content, and by seeing the way which is the courses are designed. Let's hear from Harihara also.
Yeah,
I think
just to add on what Tony mentioned, you know, I have gone through the first 4 modules actually. Quite excited to see, because PMI, although we started 1969 with the construction arm, or the construction folks has formed PMI 1969, but the focus of construction is really started last couple of years under the leadership of Ben Breen, who is heading the construction division of PMI. And particularly, you know, when I started with the communication model. Is it possible that you can go back, Tony, or in the interest of time, or we can discuss later? So basically, you have 4 modules. I started with the communication model, which is quite useful for all actually, you know, because it can be vendor, it can be the PM, or it can be anyone else who involved in the construction industry. It talks about the basic communication, which is all needed, as well as advanced communication, which is needed for making a communication plan. So it is beautifully structured in a way that people can really understand, make use of the sense, you know, we are doing projects day to day. We can correlate easily with experienced people or not experienced, but it's easy to understand. And I find it really useful, the communication model, and followed by scope. Yeah,
we have the slides, Hari. Like, you know, after one more slide, you know, we'll get into the details of the and everything. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, quite useful actually. We can add on later, Tony. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just want to put up one more slide before Ricardo goes. Like, you know, I just put up some thoughts, and then probably pick up the brains from the Ricardo and you as well. Like, you know, why should we go for the PMI-CP? Yeah, one of the question is why PMP, or, you know, should I go for the PMI-CP? So one of the key points which is reflecting me is the typical challenge what in a construction compared to other industry is the project delivery challenges. We plan something and we end up doing a lot of ground level coordinations and like you mentioned, especially the communication is one of the area, the productivity is one of the area. We end up into a lot of interface management and integrating a lot of activities in that. So the planning, execution, and controlling in a construction is something beyond what we have seen so far in other industry. And this makes our contracts more complex, and we have a very different way of handling the requirement management, and the risk handlings are pretty challenging for us. So there's a lot of collaboration required in when you do the planning, early plannings and collaborative plannings, and then having a kind of the big room concept what lean is following, the last planner system what lean is following, or the analyzing what is the communication gap by using the CII tool. So it really make the course more tailored to the construction industry. Then that is one reason I will recommend people to go for the PMI-CP. So Ricardo, like you want to add something to from your experience of interacting? Ricardo is the one who is interacting across the globe and interacting with a lot of PMI-CP professionals and the government and the public body. So how do you find why people are choosing PMI-CP in your view?
I think you answered the question. It has been a need in the industry for the longest while. I think the excitement from the industry that we're finally coming to the table with a program designed in such a way that it incorporates even CII material, LCI material. So it's a truly holistic approach to the construction industry, and really a good upskilling program for project managers within the field. They're really excited. It's broad enough that it covers all aspects of the construction life cycle as well. So yeah, I think people are excited about it, and
yeah, that's cool. So Hari, you want to add into your thought of why to choose the PMI-CP?
My understanding is the CP is quite useful because we all know that we are practicing construction project management heavily. But this is a time that you can, enrich our knowledge and correct if we are not we are doing something different. It's a way to correct and reset ourselves and move forward, So I see a learning potential as well as developing the competency of individual so that we will be more confident going at field and doing our work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So before we get into the details of each courses and everything, Ricardo, would you like to give some advice to the people, those who are here, or any you may be getting some frequent questions, or would you like to share some of that into the participants and
Sure, and I don't have to leave, so I'll stay until the end.
Oh,
so.
okay, then it's fine. Then it's fine. I don't want to take your time. So
I've been answering questions in the chat as well. So you can check the chat and see some of the responses.
No, you're staying here, then it's perfect. So let us just get into the a little more detail, and then I think rather than we talk and we spend long time in talking, we will listen to the people and then we will answer to them directly. But of course, yes, to quickly going through the content again, like Harihara was mentioning. These are the 4 major courses for the first level of certification. That means a PMI-CP, where you need to write the exams and moving forward. So Harihara, start with the communication.
Yeah, can you go to the previous slide?
Yeah.
See, I have started looking into PMI-CP, and I completed the prerequisite of appearing for the exam. You need to do 4 of these courses, what you see in the screen. So I started with the project communication, which I mentioned just now. It's very useful and gives a broader picture how to draw a communication plan. We all know that the communication plan is not just a contact list or a coordination procedure, but that needs a lot of things which you can think And that gives a very good map for you to think about it. And interface management is always a challenge for many of us. And this gives a very broad sense, and also in collaboration with CII, and the content has really come really well. For the first time, I'm go through this interface management to the depth of what PMI has given. It's very beautifully done. And scope and change order, each of the companies have got their own PMO and set up how you make the change management aspect. But PMI is again given a broad level. At the same time, there are a lot of templates given for you to look into it as examples, and the more detail for you to read reference material. So that's another plus. I'm saying it. You can easily take out and see how you can correlate and develop your knowledge and apply it to your projects on spot, on day one. So which PMP, of course, it's a separate thing, but CP program that you can bring it to the ongoing projects and see what you can experiment to make some difference, how you can make your project more productive and logically, fixing some of the things which you're learning in this course. As well as contract and risk management also, they have given more emphasis on, because this is a field related, right? I mean, more the contract, the more clear the contract management is, you will manage it quite well, your project. So the deep understanding of scope, contract, change, risk, it's a basic fundamental thing which PMI has put in to appear for CP program. There are other advanced models which Tony will explain. But it's all beautifully done, I would say that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will, when you really, I just want to glance at it. I don't want to go through the details of it, but I just want to show you what are the major components, and which really make it the courses very attractive. If you really see, look at this project communication content. There is a talk about like active listening, how do you do it? There is a discussion about how do you use the OBEA or Big Room for improving the communication. How does a commitment-based management has been established? And these 3 or 4 are really coming from the lean concepts, but where at the same time, you can see that the project management information systems and evidence-based management communication, which is a Compass, is a tool which is designed by the CII. Now, this is the beauty of a PMI course. I'll say that the content which is being developed by PMBOK and the project management over a period of time, including the stakeholder management, communication, and strategy and plan, combined with the lean or the agile way of doing it in construction, and being incorporated with the tool which is being developed by CII, which you can literally go and collect the data and analyze and see that which part of the project is having a challenge, and then you can really improve that particular area and moving forward. So like this, if you look at the interface management, which Hari was clearly mentioning, it clearly giving a tool to find out what are the interface points, what are the interface coordinates, and how do you do the interface management. So the entire things are really managed. And coming to the scope and change order management, again, are we really understood the scope well? Hari, someone is moving the slides. Okay, so it's fine. I'll manage. So we really have to look at the scope evaluation tools by the CII can be done. How does this governance structure has been established, and how are you going to manage it in your project? Like the Harihara mentioned, every organization will have a different way of handling it, but PMI is going to give the framework and structure on how does an effective change management or a change order can be implemented in a construction projects and then move forward. And last but not the least, the contract and risk management, where this is specifically how does the risk management framework can be applied, and what tools and the techniques can be applied in a construction project. And ultimately, we are talking about the claims, and then how do you reduce the claims, and then how do you move forward, etc. So it is being clearly articulated and put it in structured way that a project management in construction can be handled by those who are having knowledge on the very basics and the structured project management knowledge, which has been consolidated from Project Management Institute, the Lean Construction Institute, and the Construction Industry Institute. Now, coming to the advanced the courses for a senior level skill building, once you gain the PMI-CP and then you are completing another 3 courses, that will make you to eligible for a credential called as a PMI-SCP. There is no separate exam is required. You need to complete the course and then assessment need to be completed. That makes you to eligible for the PMI-SCP certification or a credential, we can say. So these are the 3 major courses which is part of it. Like the performance and material management, the technology and innovation, and the execution planning. Now, just quickly jump into the topic. Here you can see that the performance and material management is talking about the strategy to develop a performance in a project, fostering a culture, which is again, some lean, and the talking about the strategy and plan. We are talking about the operational management and the technology and integrating. And further, it is taking into a level of technology by introducing how does we do innovation? Innovation is one of the buzzwords in today, but how does the construction industry is moving towards that trend? What is the transformative things which is happening in a construction industry? How do you develop or incorporate the technology? How do you do that digitals in the construction industry? So a deep dive into the technology and innovation, and how do you develop that into the area? The last but not least, this is a course I really liked. It's a pure combination of a CII knowledge and the Lean Construction Institute knowledge, which is coming up. We can say that the advanced work packaging, which is one of the latest way of handling the scope, the component, and the packaging the project, and being controlling in the construction project, is well explained and detailed in this particular course, along with the last planner system, which that one of the collaborative planning approach which the industry is adopting nowadays, and talking about the pool planning, the different levels of last planner systems, and how do you integrate this planning into CCSU, which is again a CII tool which is helping us to evaluate and do it. So if you really look at the entire courses and the categorizations and the modules, what is being defined, which making our construction people to be the fundamentally a professional in the beginning, and over a period of time, we are ensuring that they are advancing their skill and they should be able to bring their larger experience and the better knowledge for an enhancement of a construction industry. So that makes the entire construction professional journey into a well-established and structured way of doing it. So I think, I've concluded and we have discussed more than enough. So I just want now request everyone to think about the questions and something which we haven't answered till now.
Yeah.
Do that. Meanwhile, I request everyone to scan this QR code. If you have a LinkedIn group available in our and the QR code is available, so you can just scan it and join our LinkedIn group. And this LinkedIn group, you can put all your questions and all your any requirements. There are ATP people are part of it. There are chapter members are part of it. There are PMI staffs are a part of it, and the volunteers like me and Harihara is available. So we will try to create a networking platform where the like-minded people can come and discuss about this certifications, and then as a team we can move forward. So Hari, how do you want to handle the Q&A?
I would suggest whoever have got questions, just turn on your audio, if possible, video if you like, and ask your questions. I think let's have more interactive for next 15 minutes. That'll be more beneficial than using a Slido or something like that. So just feel free to ask questions, so we will be able to answer your questions, so that and also complete the feedback survey. I put in I think it goes on the next slide. Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask your questions. Actually, we're more than happy to ensure that you understand the program, and then we can guide you along.
So if you are not able to unmute, please raise your hand, and then we will unmute yourself. Yeah, I think Kaushik. Yeah, Kaushik. Yes.
Kaushik here. Hey, thanks. Nice presentation. So my question is actually very straight, related to the modular construction. I saw advanced work package is included in the course, which is really beneficial for modular construction. But does it touch more than that actually?
See, when you are talking about the modular, like we are not going into the technical or the technology side of the modular construction and everything, but you will be seeing a lot of discussion on robotics and the automations and the drones, all the technology and innovation, what is happening in a construction, and how does that kind of a culture and thought process can be evolved in that, and where you should be able to look forward for this kind of an intervention and move forward. So this is more of in a management side. I think I will say that beyond that, what you've mentioned is being covered in the courses.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, who want to ask next? Anyone else? Any other questions?
So there are questions in the chat.
Yeah, you can read out, Alicia.
Okay. Let me just scroll up quickly. So are there any plans to host in-person courses in Singapore?
Okay, so that is a very interesting question, and see, that is where exactly the feedback forms have been circulated. There are ATPs are there, which there are various other opportunity for us to do this kind of a promotion. So we are very keen to understand how many people in Singapore are interested to go for it. So please fill up this feedback form and try to put your interest to go for it. And if you are looking for some kind of updated information from the chapter, please try to give your email addresses, and we will come back to you shortly. So we will try to help you out to do more of a a collective learning how we can do it, and we are more than happy to support you as a chapter and as a construction ambassador to help you to achieve it. So please express your interest, and then we will reach out to you soon.
Thank you for that. Did you gentlemen touch upon the modular construction, which is now a major focus for construction, or is there some?
I think we spoke that. Is it
Okay.
question?
Literally just going through. Apologies, everyone. We just swapped hosts. Everyone sent a PMI IDs. We have your IDs. Okay. Okay, so there's been some answers in the chat directly.
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
So one question I saw in that chat box, somebody is asking about the FIDIC red book or yellow book, which need to be followed, or PMP have its own suggestion how to manage the vendor supplier relationship.
Okay, so the FIDIC and NEC contracts, all it has been. I think it's been discussed in one of the PMI courses. Like there is one more digital practitioner course is also been introduced by PMI as part of a construction courses, which is more talking about the area where the digitalizations and the use of technology platforms and everything, where it's been clearly given a comparison between the FIDIC and NEC contract and also which contract to be followed is it's not the PMI is recommending, but the surroundings and the way which can be applied is more discussed in the course. Ricardo, you want to add something on that?
No, I think you're correct. So we don't subscribe to a particular contract like FIDIC. But of course, if FIDIC is the one you're using, then it's part and parcel of your contract design. Yeah, I've seen that it is well detailed and kind of a comparison. I will not say comparison, but the advantages of this FIDIC and NECs are explained in the digital practitioner course. Yeah. There's a hand raise.
Would you unmute?
Yeah, you can. Zaka.
Hello, are you hearing me? Yeah. How are you? Okay,
Yes.
I have seen this presentation is very good, and I have subscribed the course. And can you tell me that there are total 7 modules or 4 modules right now?
Okay, so when the PMI originally released this course or the certification, we were having 7 modules were mandatory for us to complete for writing or appearing for the PMI-CP exam. Now, when we receive the feedbacks and from the industries and the level of maturity, like a 3-year person, how much they should know. So it's a evaluation happened over a period of time, and the PMI had taken a decision to introduce a PMI senior certification, senior construction professional. So what it is done is, now we made only 4 modules that are mandatory or required for you to appear for the PMI-CP exam. So to answer your question, only 4 courses or 4 modules are required to complete it. Then you can write for the PMI-CP exam. Then you complete another 3. Then you will be getting a PMI-SCP certification.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we have 150 in our.
Any change in IT project
Yeah.
management transit to construction related project management? Danny says that he knows, of course, that we need to expose the construction environment, but just wanted to hear a little bit more about the IT-PM transition.
Sorry, I didn't follow the questions.
It's not very clearly written. So, Danny, would you mind unmuting yourself and just telling us elaborate on your question? Is there a change in information technology for project management transition when it comes to construction-related project management?
See, the construction-related project management is slightly different from the other industry, how it has been managed, because of the large number of stakeholders, the lot of uncertainties in the field, and the importance what we material management, contract management, and everything. So I will say that the construction itself is it's a different vehicle we are driving compared to the other industry. Other industry, I'll say that it's much more easier to handle it when we look at the complexity of construction, because in a construction, we have a different infrastructure, industrial, the building, the various type of work. So the way what we look at, it will not just work with an output based, like input and output. We have to look at more of an outcome oriented, and then seeing that is it been functioning. If the challenges are there, then we have to make a corrective action and move forward it. So that is where in a construction, practically we do a lot other tools and techniques to handle it. And that's what exactly been taken by the Project Management Institute from Lean Construction Institute and CII, and then combine it together. So yeah, I mean, it's a completely different compared to the other industry, we can say. Masood, there is can you unmute and speak? Can you make a Masood to speak?
Meanwhile, hi, I'm Ravi. I just have a couple of questions quickly.
Yes, Ravi.
One is, does this course cover any regulations aspects of construction? That's number one. And second is, how much it will be useful for financial professionals in construction field, like auditors or anybody who is related to the finance of the construction?
I mean, see, it's a regulatory constraints or the requirements that are usually country specific, and even within a country, different state, it will vary to a large extent. So I would say that it is not been covered is probably the straightforward answer. But of course, the management aspect of it, like for example, in a UK, the regulatory is talking about the BIM, the regulatory is talking about the collaboration, the regulatory is now in a Singapore, we are talking about how we can, more collaboration we can bring it into planning, how do we engage the client, contractor, and consultant together. So these all are also a regulatory requirements in a developed countries, and it is going to come up in across globe, which is being addressed by the PMI-CP. So to answer you, there are certain regulations in terms of management which is there in the industry being covered in the course, but as far as a pure technical requirement by the regulatory, it is not covered. To come to the second question, someone else want to answer it? Hari?
Second question is what actually? Can you repeat?
Just I'll repeat. Thanks, Tony, for the answer. Yeah, I do agree. Regulations are really really tough thing. Yeah, to cover. But yeah, I got your answer. Second question was on the financial aspects in the construction professions, like who are involved in the financials of constructions. How far it will be helpful for them to take up this course?
I can answer this, Tony. So basically, the risk is there everywhere. Finance is not just finance. We have to look at holistically what are the things going to impact finance, right? So you don't have a separate model for finance, but when you go to the contract management discussion and as well as, the module as well as the risk management, there are a lot of elements which talks about finance aspect of it. And it will be beneficial for both senior as well as junior guys who take part in this course. Yeah, because what I see is the CII approach and PMI has put together a course which can be useful for all sort of peoples actually, and also improve, as I mentioned before, the competency of the construction professional is somewhat least underestimated, and the growth is not happening so much because we always go to the field or do the project. Once you complete one project, you go to the next project, right? So I find this is an opportunity for everyone to step up their learning and also prove if you want to really have a credential, you can take part in an exam and prove yourself what you have learned. So that gives upper edge and stand out from the rest of the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Hari. So finally, to conclude, it will be helpful for people who are in the financials. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, because they also have a communication model. So it's put together. I think it's well developed, I would say.
Is there a PMI handbook that we can be using for the preparation?
Yeah, once I think who want to take Tony, you want to talk on this?
Ricardo, you want to say, Ricardo? Or...
Yeah, I think the exam review material is available when you would have applied for the exam and have been approved. It then becomes available in your library. So the folks who have completed the 4 modules, go ahead and apply for the exam, and you will have the exam prep material ready for you as soon as you're approved for the exam. And then you can schedule the exam. The last point I wanted to make is, we look at the entire ecosystem of construction, right? All of the people who are interfacing with construction, from the architect to the finance people. It's important that we're all speaking the same language. So this helps in a way that you understand what the other side is doing and you're able to see where they're coming from as well. So it's important that we all, in the whole ecosystem, use this as an upskilling so that we're all speaking the same language. And again, I think the question is, can somebody transition from the IT field or healthcare field to construction field? That's a tough one, depending on where exactly you're fitting in that ecosystem of construction, right? Because, for example, in finance or financing of construction and risk, there might be an aspect there for you. I think we're not looking at it solely as the people who are actually doing the construction, but look at it more holistically. Also, when we talk construction, we're talking the entire ecosystem. We're talking infrastructure. We're talking anything that touches construction. So utilities, for example, here in Dubai is taking a big step forward in making sure that their people are certified on the PMI-CP, the roads people as well. So it is all of the areas that touch some aspect of construction.
There was one person raised the hand, Masood. When we couldn't see.
I think no, we have spoken to him. I think.
Okay, then it's fine. Masood was raising hand, and then.
Yeah, Masood, you have another question?
No, thank you. Somebody asked the same question which I was going to ask, and that was about the handbook. So now, Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else have got any questions? Feel
Probably we
free.
can take the final questions. I think we are.
We are 8 o'clock now. Yeah. So any final question, and then I will conclude.
So please join this WhatsApp group. If you have LinkedIn in your phone, just scan and get it. Otherwise, you can just go to the LinkedIn and search for it. It will really help you to network with the like-minded people, and you have the certified people and the ATPs and the PMI chapters and PMI staff is available there. You can get any support required through the conversation, and already have a lot of discussions happen there, which will help you to clarify many of the questions and be part of this community.
Okay, great. I will finish off now. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, a big thank you for Tony and Ricardo. So basically, we are not ending here. So we have LinkedIn profile being communicated in this slide deck we'll be giving to you. And I would request all of you, if you're serious about CP, do connect with us. If you have any doubt, we are more than happy to brief you and guide you. And once again, a big thank you to all of you. Yeah.
Okay.
So
one thing, Hari, anyone in Singapore want to have an in-person conversation, and if you are part of an IBW conference, on the day, I think 4th of September in the afternoon, Ben is also available in the IBW conference. So
yeah, I mean,
have a panel discussion. So if
yeah.
someone is there, Hari also will be there on the 4th day. 4th of September, the day 1 of the IBW conference will be around. So please feel free to reach out to us in person, and then we can have any conversations and we can have some discussions, and then anything we want to clarify in person, we can do that.
Thanks a lot. Once again, a big team here, and I hope this session is useful, and we'll connect in next MIIP series, which is going to talk about project controls, which is a big subject as well. So our team is working on it, and we'll come back with another panel discussion kind of setup. For 2.5 hours, we'll be talking about project controls in the month of September, actually. Okay. With that note, we end the session. Thanks. Thank you all for joining this session. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone, for spending your Wednesday with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.